Okay, so in this section, we're going to talk about the structure of the chloroplast, which you remember is the organelle inside eukaryotic cells where photosynthesis is done. If you're thinking, hey, what about photosynthetic bacteria? Totally different creature. They have folds in their membrane that they do photosynthesis, but they don't have these organelles. Okay. All right. You remember that the chloroplast has a double membrane. Inside that double membrane, inside the inner membrane, there is a fluid, a mostly water with, enzymes and ions and other things in it. That aqueous fluid is called the stroma. Now, make sure that you put that R in that word, stroma. Stoma means mouth. Stroma is the fluid inside the chloroplast. Okay, so two very different words. Inside the chloroplast, we see these stacks of membrane-bound structures. These stacks, each of these is a granum. Okay, I think of it as a stack of pancakes, but that's probably just because I like food. And each of the pancakes in a stack is called a thylakoid. So a pile of thylakoids is called a granum. Plural granum is grana. Okay. The thylakoid, these membranes here, is what actually has the pigment molecules in it and these other things called photosystems that are actually going to harvest the energy from light. All right, so if we look more closely at the grana, what we actually see are these stacks, these circular stacks connected by these flat layers of membranes. And all of those, you can see these little twisting layers. They're all interconnected. So it's not separate pieces of membrane, they're all interconnected membranes. Okay. If we do look at a single thylakoid, now remember it's not just completely an oval like this, it's actually connected to something else, but this is for simplicity's sake. If we look at a single thylakoid, we see that it has a lumen on the inside. Lumen just means the space inside a tube or an organ or a pocket. So we've got the lumen on the inside, the stroma of the chloroplast on the outside. We have a phospholipid bilayer membrane. And then embedded in the membrane, we have protein complexes. We have photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Those are, again, going to harvest the actual energy from light. We have some proteins that are going to pass electrons around. And then look, we have our old friend ATP synthase, which remember from when we did cellular respiration, ATP synthase is the protein complex that actually makes ATP. So if you're thinking, hang on, what is ATP synthase doing here? I thought we were making sugars. We're gonna make sugars. But first, this cell is gonna make ATP to provide the power to make the sugars. Cool, right? I know. Okay, so that's what the thylakoid looks like. Now, within the thylakoid, these photosystems are really big protein complexes. They sit within the membrane here. You can see that phospholipid bilayer there. And the photosystem itself has two parts. The outer part is a light harvesting complex, and this has the actual pigment molecules embedded in it. And then between those, in the middle of those, there's what we call a reaction center complex. And it has two special chlorophyll A molecules that are going to actually be reduced in the reactions that we're going to get to in a moment. And then there is an electron acceptor. You don't need to know the names of the electron acceptor molecules for this class, okay? But there are two different photosystems and they have different electron acceptors, okay? It's okay to just know that there is an electron acceptor. Okay, so up next, we're going to talk about the first set of reactions that happens along this membrane and inside the thylakoid. Those are the light-dependent reactions.